What's up, man?
The sun is shining.
Hey, Cass!
Nice and bright.
Oh!
The birds are chirping,
and I'm excited.
Time to get ready.
Oh!
For another day.
Terry!
No one can stop us. Oh, we
What's
gonna
up?
Play away.
Hey, it's Terry Drop Shine.
And
This
play.
one
We
show.
do our best. So
It's Cass. It's listening.
you do your best.
Hey, in the
and I
house.
don't mind.
What's next in the
So
house?
let's get ready. Cause it's about that time. Good morning, you good. Morning, how do you do? Good. Time to be great.
Wake up call.
Morning,
Coming out.
Your dance and play. So start to stay.
Back then.
Reach for the sky.
morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning, how do you do? Good morning to you. Good morning, how do you do?
What do you call it? You always say we crack a lacking. What's happening? Wake up, everybody. It's the wake up call from Rolling Out. I am your host, Muncie Steve. This is Romeo International. Our favorite first lady of the show, Cass in the city.
Cass, what's up?
Good morning. What's up, y'all?
Hey, you got it, man. You got it. What's up, King James? How are you, man?
What's up, man? I'm just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Just bringing the noise, you know what I'm saying?
Bringing the noise. I tell you what, we all are here to wake everybody up and give them a wake up call. So for all of you who are still struggling and had a phenomenal holiday, hopefully safely, but those that not, we pray for you that you do not meet Mr. or Mrs. Corona. It is not nice. For everybody, it's reset time. It is Tuesday. So this is going to be a big day for those who are out. Hope you set some goals for this week. You got any big goals for this week, Terry?
Yes, I want to basically get my hands on some barbecue. And no. Seriously, I want to basically, get into a daily walk session. So I need to get to a daily mile walk. So that's my goal.
Goals.
Because I used to be I used to be a member of a running group, but the change in schedule has dictated that I had to resign from that running group. And well, you know what? It would have been over anyway because of the fact that Romeo and I see you, but because of the coronavirus, we can't run together anyway. So I was trying to be like you. I was trying to get in here, but you mock me when I'm underneath you. So I see what kind of person you are. You know what I'm saying? You make fun of me because I'm trying to get on track. You saw that, Cass. You saw that, Cass. Check him.
I saw it.
Cass, check him.
That is
Break
not
out
right.
the Kleenex,
Y'all
Cass.
need to be nice.
I know Terry can rock with the best.
Let's play nice. You got it, Terry. You're gonna get on track and get what you got to get done.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I tell you, we start the morning with our song "Keep the Faith." Maybe they can find it. They say cue it up, so where we've queued it up, so that they know, so they can surprise us at any moment with the little "Keep the Faith." And we only want to hear a minute and a half of the song, but if somebody can find it, we're gonna go to that and find some inspiration for everybody. Romeo, how's it going with you, man? You have a good holiday?
I had a great holiday kicking it with mom. I'm still learning how to cook, so got rice down pat. Everybody did that, and now I am working on. Cassidy, I saw that. Cassidy, I'm just saying, I'm working on rice, but now I'm actually working on like cornbread and stuff like that. But I will say,
Jiffy Mix works really good. Hey Philly, Shirley from Philly. What's going on, Shirley? I'm not sure if you sent us any pictures from Philly, but we are looking forward to getting pictures and photos from you guys out there, just letting us know how your Memorial Day weekend was and just what's going on. Good morning to you. That good morning song's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can listen to it on Little Professor Sky. It is part of the Rolling Out family of great content that we are making. Janice from Albany, what's happening to you? Cass in the city, bright smile just for that. Janice, what's happening in Albany?
Good morning.
It's interesting you said it. A lot of people were asking where can they get the Good Morning song. Like they want the Good Morning song. So
Good morning is you can actually give them a screenshot at some point during it's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's part of the Little Professor Sky. So I know they can access it there. We'll give them some shout outs, some information on that song. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Wrote that song for it's actually a video. Maybe we'll go to a video one day so they can actually see the video of Sky and the whole crew having a ball. I am so proud of all those young people who graduated. Do not be deterred. This moment will not last forever. Know that we love you. Know that this is the best part of your life. Stay ready, get prepared, for the best is yet to come. So for all of those out there, we want you to know that we are really proud. Also, shout out to all parents who actually got their babies past the finish line. Terry, sometimes it's hard to get them past that finish line. They need that last minute push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
It's time for Keep the Faith, everybody. So just take a moment of silence and just meditate with this song and understand whatever you want. Be faithful to your prayers. Be faithful to who you want to be, and understand that the best is yet to come. It's all in your prayers, all in your meditation. PK, Terry.
Question is, when you're standing at a crossroads, what do you do?
Out in the day down.
When a fork is in the road, what do you do? When the world is on your shoulders, what do you do? When your back is up against the wall, what do you do? What do you do? You hold on and keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith, Terry. The barbecue on its way.
Keep the faith.
Super. Just wanted y'all to hear it. That is Charles Jenkins, Pastor Charles Jenkins. Keep the faith. Just want to give everybody a little inspiration this morning. Sent to us compliments of Pastor Jenkins. Keep the faith there, Terry.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what's up, man. It is Tuesday. Past 100,000 deaths, so it's past the flu now. So it's not the flu, but nobody can see it. So everybody's in it. Opening up opportunities, but do not let your guard down no matter what you do. We got a great group of people coming up. Anybody that you know is coming up, Cass? I mean, I can't remember all the names of these special guests.
Yeah, we definitely have some very exciting guests. Tuesday, we always do some sort of health IQ. So we have an exciting epidemiologist on today. He's going to give us some insight. We have some surprise guests. I don't want to spill all the tea, but definitely some interesting people that we're looking forward to. So you guys
I'm gonna spill the
keep
coffee.
on watching.
I'm gonna spill the coffee because I don't have.
Well, I don't drink coffee, so I'm spilling. I don't want to spill the tea.
Shout out to Gary with a T on the Ricky Smiley Show. Shout out to the Brat, all those people that are on the TV and doing it in the morning. Shout out to Charlemagne for keeping Biden accountable to what's going on. Shout out to Terry Shropshire, who is definitely painting it up today. He got both fists up for all those battle this ignorance that's happening every day. Shout out to Romeo. I actually took the time to listen to the Future album, bro. I actually enjoyed that a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And then I went back to J. Cole. I actually felt like a J. Cole moment. So I went 2 albums back, and I was rocking out to that a little bit. And you know, there are a couple of new gospel albums that I'm enjoying. So,
like Cass in the City did yesterday, it's actually a great body of work. Like you know, it's a great body of work. You know, but as long as you separate, you know, the person in the music, good to go. But I enjoyed it as well. And I'm gonna check out some of your gospel artists that you mentioned later today.
Well, Terry and I are working on putting together the gospel top 10 on Thursdays, because we want to at least be able to rock through and talk to some of those gospel artists. So between Terry, Cassie, and I, we're gonna have the good gospel top 10 for those who are definitely not on the hip hop and surprise artists. So we need to keep that going. I really enjoy that. Why don't you introduce the guest, Romeo International?
Well, first up, it's a good question.
Mondo, my man Mondo. What's going on? MSP is in the house. Welcome, Mondo. It's been a minute since we've actually kicked it together. So for those who want to know about Tech Genius, want to understand what it is to create Tech Geniusry, then I want you to understand we got my main man, Mondo. It's been a minute, brother. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, boss? Man, I love the energy in here early in the morning. I'm feeling it. Feeling good. Yeah.
Rolling out.
Welcome, welcome.
I was about to say, Mondo, you might want to turn it up to 100 right now. We got to get you on 100 right now.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I should have went on that run before this call. You know,
boy,
y'all ready?
Hey, Romeo, and he drives a fast car. So, you know, it's not like he just has a little car. He has a fast car, like vroom, you know. It's always there. So I really love what's going on with you. Always been inventive. You're a tech guy, and we're really inspired on Tech Tuesdays to bring those young geniuses who are making a difference in the community. If you were to describe for the next generation of graduates who just happened, what would you tell them about the gift of giving tech to themselves as a career?
Yeah, I actually have this perspective that tech is the one thing that is the great equalizer. And so whatever your natural gift is, there's likely a way that technology can scale that gift. And so I'm of the mindset of like tech, art, media working together is actually the secret sauce. People grow up with 3 homies or something. And it's just like, all of you guys don't have to be in tech. You just need that one cat that's like, oh, okay, you guys are super creative. I'm going to use tech to help us all monetize our greatness. And so, man, tech is a way to make bread, in my opinion.
Cool. So for those who don't know, you introduce yourself, because they want, I keep getting these little chat bots that say, introduce. I said, Mondo Davidson, my man, tech guy, blah, blah, blah. They want some specifics.
Yeah.
Which happen here at Rolling Out AM, so that the community knows how many geniuses we're growing. And I really admire what you do, and you're a kind person too. So why don't you introduce yourself right quick so everybody can know?
Yeah, my name is Mondo Davidson. Locally, I'm known as the Black Tech Guy. I built that brand for about 7 years now. And initially it was like, how do I motivate young Black boys to go into tech? I lead a ed tech startup called schools.com, schools with a Z. And we're just trying to build dope stuff that helps educators engage all students. And so culturally relevant content infused into technology. We got to be engaged in the classroom, Black and brown folks. And so hopefully we lead the wave to make that happen.
Well, the only eraser, and this is me, you're not trying, Mondo. There are those who are trying, they're still thinking about it. They've never left their home. Bro, you are in the midst of it. You are there in North Minneapolis. You're there in the community, really serving them. So you're not trying, brother. You are on the front line. You are a part of our future. When you describe tech, what are the top 3 opportunities that you think we have at this moment to really go? Because sometimes we get on something that's not the wave. Like, what is the wave now? It's not necessarily shared economy per se as it once was.
Yeah, so great question. One, if you're like a super techie, right? Clearly, like the AR, VR, something is about to happen in that space, especially with COVID. It's like everything's moving digital. And so technology is probably going to move a lot faster of like how people or how fast people adopt the next wave of tech. But I'd also argue that for people of color, like education is the way to like to play in the education industry in a way that fits your natural gifts, because we're actually the only ones that can solve the problems in education, in my opinion. It's like the one industry where it's like, hey, we have to serve Black and brown folks at a high level, but we, meaning people in the system, don't understand how to do it, right? Great ideas, great language, but they like, we don't know how to execute. Well, like, we know how to educate our own kids. We're super creative. We know the things that's going to engage young folks. And so we just got to bring that genius to the table. And so for me, it's use tech to make sure that more kids can have access to that genius. But really, it's just you bring your natural gifted self with music or art or, you know, dance or whatever. It's like those are the things that are actually going to engage kids in the classroom. We just never own the pipelines to get those assets in front of kids.
Hey, Mondo, it's interesting you say that. I'm a Georgia Tech grad, you know, not this H. Howard person over here. I'm a Georgia Tech grad.
Ooh.
But I realized my freshman year, I realized that when I went into first class, there were students already there knowing the lingo of technology, where I'm coming in like fresh out the box, not knowing. Is there a transition in Black and brown education that's missing between, you know, high school to college? And I'm just speaking about the high school to college level.
Yeah, so I guess I'm just mastery is key to me, right? Like just being mediocre just doesn't work. And so again, when you think about economics, the person that has the most money is going to pay for the best at a thing. And so we typically step into technology, meaning as Black folks, extremely late. And so the amount of work that we have to do to catch up is like crazy. And so, yeah, we might get an entry level or mid-level job, but we're not competing with the cat that's been programming since he's been 5. But what do we have though? We're like amazing creatives, right? I talk about Netflix all the time, right? And so Netflix, everybody has Netflix or everybody's borrowing somebody's Netflix, right? But like the technology that scales into the households and works when you press play is dope. But Netflix spent $6 billion on original content in 2018. And what is that? That's writers. That's right, billions with a B. And so that's creatives. Like you put your money in original content. You just need the tech to be able to get it to folks. And so again, I just keep reiterating like our ability to participate in technology is actually on the creative side because we're the best at that. And so we just got to continue to build the pipelines, you know, get the 1, 2, 5 tech people that can build the pipeline. And then we just got to be dope like we always are.
Yeah, I think the challenge is creative, but I think the other thing is just mastering things that we've mastered as a race. Literally, math and science are not hard. I think, Romeo, what it means also is making tech cool, coding cool for young hustlers. So we need tech songs. For the challenge for hip hop is to embrace the truth of bringing cool truth to our community. How do you actually get those who can actually bring cool truth to our community? Because we can master mathematics, we can master science, and we can do it at early ages. The question I have is the reaching there, because there's definitely now we know a clear disparity between getting education and a computer in that home or some type of device for that young child that doesn't have that computer in the home, which we are seeing during COVID. If that child doesn't have it, Mondo, how do we get that tech to the home? I think the also making it cool, but also how do we get that last distance now that that child can't walk those 3 blocks to that school?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, access in general, right, has always been a challenge. Man, I gotta say, I'm not just gonna throw out a whack answer just to talk. I don't know. It's like COVID hit, people are now away from the school
So
building,
here's
which provide.
the thing, because I love giving people KPIs, key performance indicators. So
Yeah.
the next time we talk, and I think we've got to begin to ramp up our technology discussion on how we, our community, and Black tech guys like you and hip hop icons begin to separate and reduce the distance between tech and delivery of cool to our community. We can no longer say that we just are gonna, oh, let's do it now, because you know that tends to be that upper middle, but there's a distance between technology and that kid being able to get on and do his homework and have a friend, a tech friend. And we've got to figure out how to deliver that through avatar, also through what is it? Do we need to have a million new phones? What's the number, Mondo? Do we need a new number so that everybody in our community knows that we need 2 million tech books? And I've got today on Health IQ, we've got the president of Howard, we got the president of Stillman. So I am asking these questions because the distance between our community and technology and being able to dream about it is to be able to deliver when dreams are being built. And that's early in life. Like, we really got to figure out how to get that distance there, because it's been very obvious as they've had speakers and teachers from our schools talking about how kids couldn't get on the computer.
Yeah, so you're 100% right. If you don't have the access, then you're behind the 8 ball for sure. In St. Paul, we have 1-to-1 iPads. So that's 30,000 kids that have access to an iPad at home right now, right? With distance learning. But the engagement based on the statistics is still minimal. I think it's like 1 in 4 or only 1 in 3 students are actually participating in distance learning, or at least early on in the burn. That was a number here locally. And so why is that? Well, it's because what you're teaching me is not engaging, right? Like, the data shows that 70% of teachers are white women, right? And so rather good intention or not, the content they're gonna create to send through distance learning is gonna be through a certain lens. And so if you're not connected to that lens, you're not gonna be eager to participate and be engaged. And so that then goes back to, yes, we have to have technology in the hands of students or young people, our community, but we also have to have content that we care to indulge in to keep our attention. Otherwise, we're just gonna go play the game.
Is it what Munson said? Is it making it cool? Because I noticed with my young nephew, right? He can get on PlayStation and build a universe with 4 buttons, right? But I guess the question is, how do you transfer that entertainment value to actually a educational value? Because I don't think they really make those educational type of games anymore. They make the ones that make you think and make you, challenge yourself, but not on an educational level.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to, like, what's the creative genius behind the technology? Like, hey, we got Roblox or we got Minecraft, right? Where we're building dope stuff. But I'm willing to bet that the storylines in Minecraft that they've created, or the worlds that you can start building in, do not look like environments in which we come from, right? So now you're thinking about, hey, I'm gonna build this castle in whatever random place, not, oh, yo, I'm about to build the new city, right? Because the A looks cool, but I feel like I can build a better city that's better for our people, right? Like those things aren't wrapped around the technology. And so we just got to open the eyes of young folks by just like sprinkling our culture into stuff.
Yeah, it's true that designer of many of those things have no urban intention at all. So the intentionality about those who are creating that message, and even offline, I think how do we get parents to be able to have the skill set to share tech? Because I think the adoption is cultural, which is what I hear you saying. It's a cultural adoption of tech. So I really think that that's a phenomenal thing for you and what you're doing. We need images. We need you to go live. When next time you're doing something with the kids during 8 to 10 or whenever you're doing something this summer, so that they can say hello to us, we can encourage them. Let's figure out how we build together, Mondo. We really appreciate you waking up early. I miss you guys. I miss us being able to go grab some grub in MSP. I am really encouraging our community to move. We need more brothers and sisters to move to MSP. There are jobs, there are opportunities for any of you guys trying to figure it out. Get the courage to move to MSP. And I say courage because winter is for real. Like, they do not have any, but the love there, the people are warm, and they're great guys. And Mondo will meet you and take you around because they got a lot of warm people, warm spirits there. But they got 20 of the biggest corporations in the country out of the top Fortune 100 in MSP, just in case you guys didn't know. So special thanks to you, Mondo. Anything, Cass?
Mondo, before you go, could you just share where people can connect with you, help out your efforts, and connect with your website and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, for sure. So website is schoolswithaz.com. Check out all those tech assets. Please drop your email in there for early access, or even if you're just trying to get access for the schools that your kids are at. And then IG at the Black Tech Guy. Appreciate you.
Cool. Appreciate you, Mondo. Peace. Shout outs to MSP and all those out there. We really appreciate.
Take care.
Thank you.
And get your tech on, get your tech on, get your tech on. What's happening, Romeo? You got a DJ pitch for tech today? Because we really want to make sure that we're rocking with tech. Is King James MIP? He's wake up?
Man, yeah, we got some great DJ tech that just got released. On top of that, I'm going to be sharing with you guys later on how you can make your music more efficient for you in my notes. So, KJ, King James,
what's happening?
How do you use technology every day, King James? I want to know.
How do you use technology? We're using technology right now, so it's kind of self-explanatory. And no. I'm saying it's self-evident because we're on.
Shrink, Romeo, shrink.
No. Romeo, I use technology has become a part of my everyday. So I use it. We're using it right now, and I use it to communicate. I use it to check out what's going on in the world in terms of Instagram, social media. And I use it to write the stories. I use it to get paid. I use it to communicate with my fellow coworkers. So it's inextricably intertwined into every aspect of my life.
Okay, I just wanted to double check because I know that technology has helped me out health wise, and that's why it's important. I watch Health IQ tonight. Health wise, technology has helped me out. Knowing my body, knowing how to eat, how much to drink, is very helpful. Cass?
Can you elaborate? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, how did you use technology to increase your health standings?
Oh, look at them. Okay, so technology every day, man. Once you get on the fitness technology train, it actually helps you knowing your miles, knowing your calories, knowing how much intake you're taking into your body and how much you need to give back. It's actually very, very obtuse and very, what's another big word, Cassidy? I need another one.
She's gonna grab you one. She's gonna grab you one. She knows.
He got all the.
But no, it helps out with your fitness, man. It really does help you know how your body is reacting.
Definitely.
Gotcha.
Well, we've got a guest here. She is who? Cassidy?
Yes, so we're excited to welcome Deborah Holden. She's an epidemiologist. She is also the Associate Dean of Public Health and the Director of the Division of Public Health at Michigan State University. So we'd like to welcome her. We're excited to speak with her for Health IQ.
Hey!
Welcome!
Good morning.
How are you? Welcome to Rolling Out Wake Up Call.
Shout out Flint City, Flint. I'm in Flint, y'all.
Yeah.
Beautiful background.
It takes a lot of courage to be in Flint. We appreciate your dedication. It is really, you know, when you talk about injurious, phenomenal things that have happened to a community, and we appreciate you and the things that you do during this pandemic and just being dedicated. You have, just since you brought it up, can you bring us up to speed on Flint?
Well, so I'm gonna tell you what I love about being in public health. Public health people tend to run towards the fire. We run towards the gunshots. I was in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins, you know, basically professionally born and raised there. I lived in Flint a little bit as a teenager. And so this place had a piece of my heart. And so I've been here now for 4 years. And I'll say Flint is getting better, but we still got some gaps. We've still got some gaps in Flint. We still deal with water insecurity. I think we've had some great leaders in the last 4 years in Flint. Our last mayor, Karen Weaver, was fantastic. We got a new mayor, Sheldon Neely. He's fantastic. Flint is a very resilient place. What happened in Flint would have wiped most cities off the map. So this is, like they say, Flint strong, and this really is Flint strong, but we got a ways to go.
Yeah, water security is an issue, but as an epidemiologist, I mean, how has it affected children? Because now we're talking years, and the reality is that it has definitely impacted the community. But what are the specifics? Because you guys trace the whole health effect.
Yeah, so lead is a really interesting thing, right? Because lead is a really potent neurotoxin, and that's known. Because of some of the other issues that we deal with in Flint, like food insecurity, as an example, the body will more readily uptake lead in the absence of a good diet. So in the body, it will treat, for example, lead and calcium very similar. You know, I don't know if you remember back in chemistry, you learned about electron shells and all that. On the outside, calcium looks very much like lead. So if you have a diet high in calcium, your body is less likely to absorb lead. It would rather have calcium than the lead. So we've got multiple issues compounding on top of themselves. What I will say is we have mounted every public health intervention. We have so much fierce advocacy in Flint. One of the things that President Obama did as his last act right before he left office is he put this Water Infrastructure for the Nation Act in place, which brought significant resources to Flint. Senator Debbie Stabenow has brought significant resources to Flint. The CDC has funded the Flint Lead Exposure Registry. So right now we're seeing just a little bit of those early signs, but we're doing everything that we can to make sure that these kids are propped up and supported, and we can overcome the impact of those early assaults that they suffered. Many of these kids, some of them were literally in utero and in their whole early infancy on lead tainted water. But we're doing everything that we can to sort of overcome that. So I think we need a couple more years to really see the outcome, but we're doing everything that we can.
So you're on Health IQ tonight at 6 p.m.
Yep.
We're talking about this COVID. You've seen states that have opened. Yep. And you have seen states that have taken over capitals with guns in your Michigan state. Yeah. What is the state of our nation from an epidemiologist perspective right now?
I tell people we are in the middle of this pandemic. We're in the middle. And most people don't want to hear that. And I deal with it even in my own family and in my own personal life. You know, people are antsy. People are ready to get back to what they were doing, you know, before COVID. And what I tell people is we're not quite ready yet. We haven't seen the drop in cases, significant, consistent drop in cases. So what's going to happen as we reopen is people are going to come in contact with people who are actively shedding virus. And then we're going to see an uptick in the number of COVID cases and in the number of COVID deaths. What a lot of people don't realize is when you are exposed, early in that exposure, even before you start showing symptoms, you are shedding virus and able to expose others. So the myth is that, once you start showing virus, or start showing symptoms, then you need to self-quarantine. By the time you're showing symptoms 2 or 3, 4 days in, and you say, wait a minute, something's going on, I might have COVID. By then, everybody that you've come in contact with, you've exposed to the virus as well. So we're just not there yet. We don't have the kind of testing. And in a lot of the states, the testing is for people who are symptomatic, right? So the example I always give people is coming out of a bar. I see a guy, he's looking under a big, light post, and he's fishing around on the ground. And I say, hey, what are you doing? He says, I'm looking for my car keys. So I watch for another minute. He's still fishing around. I said, well, why are you looking right there? And he said, well, this is where the light is. So see, with COVID, we're looking where the light is. By the time somebody's symptomatic, well, it's too late. We need to be looking and screening people periodically before they start to show symptoms. You see what I'm saying? You said, no. We have to,
I get it. I get it. I'm really, trying to, I think the analogy of the light and all that, most people don't want to walk into the light because, I think that's our thing. It's shining a light.
If we only test people with symptoms, we're not going to really do our job and show it slowing the spread. So you got a food delivery worker, right? Because I know a lot of people now are, the restaurants are closed, but we're trying to have some semblance of an economy that can sustain this. So people are getting food delivered. Well, people who are in the food delivery industry need to be tested every day. If we wait to test them until they show symptoms, if we wait until the light is on, well, think of how many people they've exposed 3 to 5 days that they were delivering food where they were actually shedding virus, but didn't show symptoms. We can't just look where the light is on. We can't just test people who are symptomatic. We've got to have community-wide, periodic, systematic testing, or we will never slow the spread until it naturally sort of runs.
I'm not sure if you saw any of the parties, swim parties, topless parties around the country, and there were tons of, cool sets. I mean, I saw a lot of cool sets. What would you suggest to our community about its cool sets that they're having, large and small, across the country?
The short-term benefit of people being able to socialize and go to the beach and gather with friends are going to be far outweighed by the unnecessary disability and death that we're going to see by people prematurely coming together. It's really sad and tragic to watch. And we already saw it. We saw it early in the epidemic. We saw when churches refused to cancel large events, and then churches became sites of super spread. We saw it early on when people didn't want to cancel. We had the same thing that happened in Flint. And I just thank God for the leadership that we have here. There was an event that we had contracted through one of our organizations for a Broadway event. And bringing a Broadway event to Flint is like a big deal, okay? It's a big deal. This great picture is downtown Flint. It's about 3 blocks long, okay? It's about 3 blocks long.
3.
And so having a Broadway event here is a big, big deal. Those deposits were not refundable. The caterers who were scheduled to do the catering for that, the banquet bartending service, all of that was money, basically up in smoke, for Flint. But I thought, if we have this large event with 800 to 1,200 people at it, we are going to be so overwhelmed, and so many cases are going to be born just out of that. You saw the headlines. You saw 2 people died in a hospital in Detroit on a gurney and were dead for 2 hours before anybody even noticed they were dead. Flint definitely cannot handle a mass bolus of cases all at once. We saw the super spread phenomenon that happened coming out of Florida around spring break. We've already learned these lessons, but unfortunately, I think it's a balance of the sort of will of man. And I think it's very American. Like, I'm gonna do me, I got my rights, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. It's my business. You're supposed to wear a mask, not to protect you from me, but to protect me from you. When I go out and people don't have masks on, I just think you're putting me in harm's way. I'm practicing all the protocols. I've been out of the house 3 times in 8 weeks, only for essential purposes. And it is difficult. This was not how I planned on spending this part of the year. I had a whole lot of things I planned on doing. I have a daughter who's graduating from high school. She's not going to be able to go to the prom. She's not going to be able to walk across the stage. I've had 3 relatives that have died. My one aunt died 3 Fridays ago. Her funeral is just happening this week. Sure. Everything about this is not normal. Thank you so much. Everything about this is not normal. But it's really sad to watch people trade off a right now thrill, a right now desire for long-term community health. And that's what we're doing with these large gatherings and opening up. I said, Disney World is opening up. Like, do you realize well child visits are down 80%? Vaccination ordering is down 75%. Kids are not getting immunized right now. And you opened up Disney World. Like, I'm just like, people don't get it. We had the youngest COVID-related death to date in Flint. A 5-year-old girl died. Now, she had some complications that arose from COVID, but can you imagine being the parent of the child who died from this disease? That made the national media. People hear that, they heard that. So if you choose to take your child to Disney World during this period, you know, I'm a Christian, like down to my DNA, bone marrow, straight Jesus lover. My faith teaches me to be fearless, but that is separate and distinct from being reckless. And people are just being reckless right now. And it's unfortunate because it's going to impact not just them, but all the people that they expose.
Miss Holden, question, and we got some comments came in. Dennis Byron says, I lost 2 cousins to COVID-19 within 2 months in NYC. Shelly Colquitt says, that's right, speak the truth. Janice Simmons says, she has said a mouthful. Now we are waiting for the fallout. And I'm praying for everybody every day. And where Dennis Bryan says, where can he get the status update on the water and going on in Michigan? But those are some of the comments. My question to you is, and we talked about this on Rolling Out AM yesterday. The world went crazy Memorial Day weekend. And, you know, me and Cass in the City being millennials, I guess the question is, we know it's serious because I get to listen to Health IQ. But millennials don't take it serious. Like you're bottled up. Like how do you how do you get the message across when everybody is frustrated and tired and don't want to hear it anymore? And like you said, COVID is something that you physically can't see. You know, I believe if people could see it and touch it, they'll be like, oh, I'll keep my distance. But what do you do? Like you said, your daughter just graduated. Right. What do you do? What do you say to them?
So it's funny because I think what I would say to them would have a lot less credibility than what you would say to them. See, this is the time for trusted, credible messengers to step forward, right? The power of a millennial compelling to another millennial will be unparalleled. Dr. Deborah Furr-Holden, Hopkins epidemiologist, can say what she says all day long. It won't have the same weight and the same credibility as coming from a trusted, credible messenger in their own community, in their own sphere. I hosted with a few colleagues of mine, Yvonne Lewis and some others, a Flint community webinar. We've been doing that. We're now going into our 11th week. We went back and looked at the stats and the data on who shows up to our webinar. We've had about 1,400 people. Flint's only a city of 100,000. So that's kind of significant, right? So we have had about 1,400 people so far. And the average age for that webinar is 55. Okay. So we're doing a really good job of hitting you know, and that's the average. So you can imagine there's some that are younger and there's some that are older. We're doing a really good job of hitting that, you know, target population, and they are at higher risk for bad outcome, et cetera. And so that's great, but we're not reaching the young people. Why? Because they're not interested in webinars. They're not following me on Facebook. The few that are following me on Instagram, you know, I literally have had an Instagram since Instagram came out. It's only been during COVID that I was like, I'm gonna have to start really getting into the gram, which evidently is what old people say, but you know, 45 and 45, loving it, just fine with it. But you know what I mean? Like, we need like peer-to-peer support. They need to hear it from the people that they trust. You need to be talking to the Dr. Deborah Holdens and others so that you are both rooted in good, sound knowledge and insight, but that you also can have what you need to then be that voice to the community and the population that trust and respect you. So this is one of those all soldiers on the field. You know, and I always tell people, like, well, what are you doing to reach young people? Man, nothing. I'm talking to my kids. I'm asking them to promote through their networks and da-da-da-da. Like, that's not the best use of my time. And I'm not the best messenger for that, but you are.
So
you know
tonight at 6 p.m., we're going to have more of this, more of you on Health IQ with a whole team of solution high intellectuals that are thinking. We want to thank you for coming on. I think your point with Romeo is almost taken, but I don't agree. I think you're very relevant to anybody in our culture because everybody loves their aunt, they love their mother, they love their sister. I think we've got to figure out how do we merge trust between our community. I think there's always a bridge. There's always an uncle. He DJs and cleans up or owns the club, and he always kind of just spits a little bit of game in the ear so that while they're there. I think, Romeo, you're asking the question, but I think we've got to make our community, and this is more my thing, more accountable. We've got to make Travis Scott more accountable. We've got to make LeBron James every day have this message. I think the responsibility for us, Deborah, and I'm challenging you, help you, is to come up with health KPIs for our community. We need the numbers so that we can get out of this social fantasy of posting, because there's a problem with social fantasy. It doesn't harbor the truth. So for us, Romeo, we need to make sure that our community, because then we can test them. If you're a celebrity and you aren't posting about COVID at least twice a week, you don't love our community. Because at least then we know you didn't do it, you didn't love us. No, it's not about you. It's about us. And if you're not posting twice about COVID and telling everybody to chill, you're not with us. We've got to measure our community and hold people accountable. Otherwise, people are not trustworthy. And we need to begin to say that. So I want to thank you for coming on. You have been a phenomenal guest, and we are going to see you tonight on Health IQ for more Rolling Out. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I'm ready to see grappling tonight. I'm rolling up.
Yes, epidemiologist, Dr. Deborah Holden. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wake up call. This is Rolling Out AM. We got more guests coming to you now. Boom, 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 boom. Cass in the city.
Yes, that was great. I enjoyed her conversation tonight. I think it's going to be great. She's definitely giving us insight into what's not only going on with COVID.
Good morning.
Hey, Carrie.
How are you all?
Look at Romeo.
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Jessica.
My friend coming on. Hey.
Hey, Jessica.
What?
Hi.
Hey. Shout out to
the Rolling Out AM.
Morning. So I'm really honored that Jessica made time to be here today. Everyone, this is the first Black woman to travel to every single country in the world. For those of you that are from Detroit, you know about DAPSEP, Detroit Area Pre-College Program for Engineering. Is that right, Jess?
Yeah.
Jessica, we go way back then. So It's been amazing to see her travel journey and see her go everywhere and pick up mindfulness along the way. Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about just your journey in general. How did this idea to go to all the countries even start?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me this morning. So as Carrie said, I grew up in Detroit. I'm the child of Ugandan immigrants. So we've been traveling really most of my life. My first international trip was when I was 4. And by the time I graduated high school, I'd been to, I think, 7 or 8 countries. So it's something that was definitely embedded in my life. And then in 2008, I moved to Japan, where we got to hang out too, because she was living in South Korea. And it spun off from there. So I was in Japan for a year. Subsequent to that, I lived in London. I did my master's at the London School of Economics. I lived in Benin in West Africa, and then I lived in Italy for 3 years working for the UN. And during all of that time, I was constantly traveling. And I'm a geography nerd, so I'd always said I wanted to visit every country in the world by my 40th. But in February 2017, I decided that I wanted to do it by my 35th birthday. So I pulled that up 5 years. I was at 60 countries at that point. And then in 2.5 years, I did the last 135 countries.
That's awesome, right? We should go ahead and clap for that one more time, Jessica. That's fantastic. So when people think about traveling, I'm sure most of us, we're like, vacation. It's so peaceful and all of this. But as some of us know, traveling can be stressful sometimes too. So is that how you picked up mindfulness, or is that why you started practicing, or?
No, you know what? I've had people in my life who have been meditating for years and talk to me, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna start it. And you try and start, but your mind is running everywhere. It was actually COVID that gave me the stillness that allowed me to get into meditation. And I'm so grateful. I know it's a very difficult situation, obviously, for a lot of people, but I'm the type of person where, number one, I can adapt to any situation. A lot of my friends are checking in like, are you okay? Because you're always traveling. And I'm like, I'm actually fine. And I'm actually thoroughly enjoying it. So because it allowed me the stillness to get into meditation and to do so many other things and to rest. For me, it's been a great period of rest. So my mindfulness is due to COVID.
And guys, this is very surprising.
How would you describe mindfulness? Because we keep sharing, and oftentimes individuals haven't come up with practices. And I hear it rolling out AM. We work hard to begin to at least get what Carrie has shared with us, 5 minutes of mindfulness. So how would you describe it? And then what are your best 2 to 3 moments on how to start your day and have a level of mindfulness?
Is that for me?
Yes, it is for you.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know if I'm an expert, but I can, as like a lay person, if you will, I can tell you what I do. So I'm actually sitting in my little meditation corner, but I have sage. So I light my sage, and I light my sage from a candle. And before I start my morning practice, I sage my own energy and the energy in the space around me, just because that clears out negative energy and puts you, I believe, in the right frame of mind to start it. And then I think for people who are new to it, you may want to start slow with 5 minutes, build up to 10. I do 20 minutes every morning. And part of that is around discipline. Think of, if you go on your phone, you can see how much time you spend on your social media apps, and it's probably 3, 4, 5 hours for some people, maybe. So to me, I feel like I can take 20 minutes of my day to be still, and to sit with my thoughts and to clear my head. So I would describe mindfulness really as first in the morning, doing the meditation and setting your intentions for the day and clearing your mind, but then also being very conscious of everything that you're doing throughout the day. So one thing I say beyond this is I like to live my life very deliberately. So everything that I'm doing, number one, because I want to do it. And number two, because there's some sort of value either to me or the person that I'm engaging with. And we should all be thinking about our lives in that way, because if you're just doing something on autopilot, what's the value to you? What's the value to the person you're engaging with? I think all of that falls under mindfulness.
And why? Oh, go ahead, Monson.
No, go ahead, Carrie. I just wanted to thank you. It is phenomenal. So go ahead, Carrie.
I just wanted to know from your perspective, Jessica, why do you think mindfulness is important for not just a traveler, but an entrepreneur at this time?
Oh yeah, that's great. I think number one, because it's clearing your head. I think when COVID first started, as a small business owner, there was definitely a level of panic because like I saw all of my, upcoming events canceled, and like overnight I lost a lot of money. And so for me, it was necessary, number one, to bring calm into my life. Right. So like, even when things happen now, I feel the negative energy in my body rising to the top. It's like, it really gives you a chance to listen to your body. You feel your heart racing. If you really sit when you have a negative feeling come up, you'll feel your body temperature rise. And I've learned to like breathe through it and just let it go. Because at the end of the day, I probably can't control whatever it is upsetting me. And so a lot of it is about that. And I think being an entrepreneur, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, you have to really find ways to create calm in your life. And also to just deal with things as they come in a way that's healthy for you. It also helps me with my creativity. So I've come up with a ton of ideas. Like I launched a geography course. And I think all of that is due to me having time to just calm down and be mindful about everything I'm doing.
We've got about 2 more minutes, ladies. So we want to practice anything, Carrie. We've got 2 minutes before we've got our next guest. But more than anything, Jessica, you're going to have to come back and share with us about the whole value proposition of travel. Taking geography, but Carrie, I was over here breathing through my nose just to kind of tune up and long life, long breath, long breath, long life.
I love it. Let's take one of those long breaths together, a nice calming long breath together, since that may be what we have time for. Always take a time to take a deep breath. Let's do it. Sit up nice and tall, everybody. Actually, let's put a hand on a heart, hand on the belly, and feel that breath come into the body. Take a deep breath in, fill up both of the lungs, feel the breath rise up towards the chest, breathe in. Open the mouth and let it go slowly out. Even that, I feel calmer already. So again, much gratitude for this breath, for Jessica, for this platform, for sharing mindfulness in the morning with your wake-up call. So I'm just grateful this morning. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I am so proud of you. Yes, and let's go ahead and plug this phenomenal place that you can actually study yoga, and she goes live.
Organic Flow. Yes, please join me for some classes. We have classes Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and new classes coming on Tuesday and Thursday. And for travel inspiration, go check out the Catch Me If You Can.
Thank you.
So, Jessica,
yes,
you've done a phenomenal job. Congratulations on meeting your goals. I think that you're the epitome of how important, just 1 second, is goal setting to our community during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, you're asking how important is it? Oh yeah, I think it's really important because I think goal setting sort of gives you that guiding light that you need. Whenever people come to me and they ask me for advice, I always say, well, what are your goals? Like, what is the intended outcome? Because I think in order for you to create a map of what your activities are going to be, you have to know where you're going. So it's absolutely important. I think it's important for mental health. I think it's important in order to sort of like keep our spirits up during this time. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be a crazy major goal. People are like, if you didn't learn a new language or start a business during COVID, you wasted your time. I totally disagree. It may be go for a 10-minute walk three times a week, like find any little goal to look forward to. I think that's really important for our community.
Yeah, I've been sharing with friends that are trying to have that. I don't believe in 10 minutes, 3 days a week. I clearly believe it should be 5 days a week. And we've got to be honest with our community about setting goals that we know everybody can do 10 minutes every day for 5. But the other thing is move when you talk on your phone. Instead of sitting down, move when you talk on your phone. If you're talking on your phone, then walk around your apartment, walk around your table, create new relationships with still things. So if you have a house, if you got a couch, walk in front of your couch and talk to your couch. It can actually talk back. You can imagine it talking back, and you can have conversations with all the people that you have. This is the moment to move your mind, to be deeper, to be bigger, but to understand when you're talking on the phone, move. Do not sit and have conversations. You'll notice after a 15-minute conversation, you've taken 1,500 steps. After 5 conversations, all of a sudden, you've got this new relationship with your phone and how you talk. I think many of us have found ourselves in place. When you travel, you move. So for me, I want us to all move, but pick up techniques from here and at Rolling Out AM, and for people like you, set some goals. And I'm saying, don't hold your phone. More than anything in the morning, I wake up and breathe before I even get out of bed now. Because of Carrie, because of, the whole mindfulness, I take 3 minutes, time myself, and breathe. So
I love that. I love that. Yeah. And I think as far as activity, it's about finding things that you enjoy. I love bike riding. So for me, I can go on like a 16-mile ride. I love it so much. It allows me a chance to get outside. I live in a small apartment, so I have to go outside to get some exercise. But yeah, I think just finding things that you love to do also helps to sort of keep that energy up and keep moving.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming. Where are you now, Jessica? Because I don't know where you're calling from.
Oh, I live in Detroit.
So you in the D. What up, though?
Yes, what up, though?
What up, though? I'm missing everybody, the Detroit Recovery Project. I really want to come back to the D. I come there at least once a month. So I've been some corners in your town. I love riding down Jefferson, Southfield Freeway, Grand River. I really have a great time. I miss my Mediterranean right now. I generally come to Detroit just to go on Warren and have a wonderful time. I'm really loving the whole idea of reminiscing, but I keep in touch. The guys that I do my push-up challenge with actually live in Detroit. So we challenge each day for us to actually do some push-ups and kind of move ourselves forward. So want to say thank you for sharing your vision and your life. And Carrie, the best to you. Missed you. We hadn't talked a lot, but let's catch up. See you Thursday, and we love you both. Thanks for coming on Rolling Out AM. Peace. The wake up call. Carrie!
Take care. Yes.
I am. What's happening? Cassie in the city.
Yes. Welcome to the wake up call. If you're just joining us, I love that. I think that was awesome. I have goals of traveling all over the world once COVID-19 is over. So I absolutely love that. I'm super excited to get back out and travel once everything is calmed down.
I need to see what that passport look like, Cassie. I need to see that.
It's very colorful. All the pages are stamped.
Right.
Multiple passports, I'm sure.
What's happening?
Hey!
Chilling in the A. What's up, Ron? How are you? Welcome, everybody.
You're on mute.
Can y'all hear me?
There you go. Yes.
What I'm talking about. What's the deal?
Come on, man. You know what it is. Y'all get ready to have a whole program. Tell us about it.
About to blast the hell off, man. I'm like so excited about actually, number one, seeing my guys. It's been over a couple months now that we've been quarantined and staying in place. And my wife is definitely a germaphobe, so we've been staying in place probably more than average. But it's a good thing. I love all of the stuff that she's put in place to protect our family. Ultimately, man, we got 2 young boys over here about to be 3 years old. We want to make sure that they hit 30 and 60 and 90 and 120, as a matter of fact. So, but yeah, we're excited, man. Rick and Mike is probably about to get on planes at some point tomorrow so we can do all of our pre-adjustments and all of the above leading up to this live streaming event that we have on Thursday. Belle Biv DeVoe, BBD Cares, Jagged Edge, Funk Fest TV, all in the name of COVID relief, man. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
You know, the beauty of having a wife is check and checkmate. You know, you need somebody to checkmate us because we might forget. You need somebody that can show you that love and checkmate. Nah, you're not gonna do that thing, right? You're just not gonna do
it. Matter of fact, what you're gonna do is you're gonna leave them shoes right at the garage door, which we were doing anyway. You damn near gonna leave them clothes at the garage door. We weren't doing that much, you know. So if anybody was peeking from my garage door, they probably caught a little ass every now and then because I was stripping in the garage. Excuse my French. I don't know if I can do that or not, but we got the station right there in the garage with the Clorox and the antibacterial and all of the above. So anything that comes in this house stops in the garage first before it enters. But I mean, it's the new norm for everybody. Hopefully we get back to a point where we can do concerts, you know, on the way that we did before, man. The love that we get from those BBD for lifers out there and those new edition for lifers, there's nothing like that attachment. And they just remove that from society. And usually when you look at things like this, the entertainment industry doesn't take a hit, you know, because people are looking for that escape. So they go to a concert or a movie or what have you, but nobody's hanging out. Nobody's able to gather in that capacity. So it's real in the field right now for everybody.
Well, y'all gonna control that box. You got this whole Funk Fest, COVID fundraising, show the love. What can they look forward to?
Man, it's the Garage Series, something that we were really trying to figure out. How do we make our entrance kind of back into mainstream America and even the world for that matter, because this will be streaming across the world. So our fans and your fans, you know, in Africa and Australia and, you know, Japan and everywhere across the globe will be tuning into this one. But they can expect Belle Biv DeVoe a little tighter, you know, in the garage. For the most part, people were giving it to you from their bedroom, Erykah Badu, from the living room, you know, with the piano, John Legend, a couple other individuals were doing it dolo like that. And they will call on us to see if we could chime in individually. But for us, our chemistry is so ripe when we're together. It's like, we don't know if we can really, you know, get down like that. So we just gonna wait and push it back to a point where it feels right for us to be able to get together. And we're putting all the different things in place, of course, just to make sure there's some sense of social distancing or what have you. But in the garage, you know, the place where the biggest bands across the country were made, that's where BBD's coming to you from, man. And you can expect 20-25 minutes of, you know, the hits from Belle Biv DeVoe, 20-25 minutes of the hits from Jagged Edge, little Q&A, of course, and some give back. That's what it's more about.
You know, we're in a moment. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Ron, last time we ran into each other.
Yeah, man. First of all, what up, Playboy? I see you down there. I see you.
First of all, I love you and the wife and the energy that y'all have. And Thank you had hit me up because you wanted to get an update on technology, right? So we was doing that. How has your technology changed with the way you guys are presenting music with the concert coming up?
This is it. Zoom, man. Zoom for me started probably about a month and a half ago. Our first Sunday family prayer call, and we did it every week after that. Last week it started going to every 2 weeks because, you know, a couple family members were complaining, you know, like, look, I'm seeing too much of y'all and we're seeing too much of each other, including our wives and our kids, right? But yeah, started with Zoom, honestly, about a month and a half ago. And it's amazing technology to be able to connect with people like yourself and see faces. I remember watching Star Trek back in the day, and, Captain Kirk would pull out his little flip phone, and he'd be able to look at people. I just, listen, I just can't wait till somebody can beam me up, Scotty. You know what I'm saying? Like, beam me up, Scotty. On the real. But Zoom, for us, this particular thing is in conjunction with Funk Fest TV. They're dealing with the streaming platform out of Los Angeles, and we're dealing with a streaming platform out of Los Angeles. Same cast that brought you the NFL draft, which was amazing for a lot of people to catch. Probably about 150 different locations they had to figure out how to navigate. So Maestro's Funk Fest TV, Zoom in the meantime, but it's all about technology nowadays. You can't really touch people without it. That's how I've been able to live and breathe and touch some of my other family members, as the bird right there is trying to understand my technology game too. Mm-hmm.
So what would your message be to some of the young hustlers that really are getting real impatient right now? They really being real risky right now.
Ooh, man, stay in place, yo. I mean, it's interesting because I kind of had to unplug from some of the news because what you feed yourself, you basically turn into. So I had to unplug from the news and some of the different things that were going on in the world as far as people being at beaches and not paying attention to each other, and the CDC, and I would say the government, but man, that's a whole nother conversation right now. But for me, it's about protection. A month and a half, 2 months, maybe even 3 months, or a whole summer right now is a short window of time as far as your whole life expectancy is concerned. So for me, to shut it down for a hot second and have, an extra argument or two until you figure out how to put things in place to active listen to each other as far as your household is concerned, and make it a little easier for you to coexist with each other on the inside of your home, which is not easy, man. We're becoming people that we never were before. I mean, yeah, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a teacher, I'm a husband, I'm a daddy, all of these different things that I could never imagine. So I'm sure it's frustrating for a lot of people, but you got to listen and understand that it's your life, and it's not only your life, but it's the life of your parents. A lot of elderly people are being affected by this thing. So we can walk around and do various things, but when they come in contact with it, can they do the same? When kids now come in contact with it, can they do the same? So gotta just pump the brakes for a hot second longer, man. Just hold tight on going to the club or to the aquarium or even to the barbershop. You can kind of see, what's happening back here. It's blowing, but I know how to kind of shave my little mustache down a little bit, but this boy right here is definitely ridiculous.
We got a couple of questions from Facebook. They really want to know about verses.
Verses, yeah.
They want to know who would, of course, be the best verses for Belle Biv DeVoe.
That's a good question, man. Belle Biv DeVoe versus. That's not for BBD. It's crazy because when you look at our history as BBD, like we put one song up, right? Hands down, when Poison drops, it's almost in game, right? But then versus is about 20 songs a piece, something like that, 10 songs a piece. If you're Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, it's like your whole catalog and you're on for 9 hours killing the game, right? But for BBD, I don't know. That's a good question, man. When I think about verses, I think New Edition, and you just got to drop the mic when it comes to that. Our catalog, as any, and then the individuals within that, you almost said this. You got to put that up against shit. I don't even know. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth right now, man. I just want people to pay attention and chime into what's going on Thursday night. It's us, not really versus Jagged Edge. It's just an opportunity for us to perform in a capacity that we're a little bit more used to, with some elbow room, and really just get down and bring the funk to the people.
Well, we appreciate you doing that. I've got one request. Obviously, we've got the garage, but there's a big day coming up, and I've admired the brotherhood that you have shared. Why don't you give a shout out to all the fathers for Father's Day, because it's coming up. We've been a part of it. And, they may not be able to go see their kids. There are a lot of fathers who will be away from their kids. Why don't you give them a shout out for Father's Day? Big ups to you for being a phenomenal father and a great role model, true brotherhood. So in the brotherhood of fatherhood, give them a shout out now, because some brothers might need a little love in this moment, just on thinking about
toast and cheers with the essential water to all the dads out there. Hold on, I'm a little parched right now, so let me catch a sip before I shout y'all out. Yeah, I needed that. Nah, to all the dads, I'm a new dad, right? My kids will be 3 on July 14th, right? So I consider that being a new dad. I'm still learning. I know fatherhood is an experience from birth to death, ultimately, right? You're learning all the time as you go. And for me, from the nannies to the village that we had before COVID locked all of us down, it was very, very, very helpful, right? And now everything is all on us. Everything is all on mom and dad. And in some cases, everything is on single parents, single fathers that may be rearing their children, man. And I just want y'all to know that there's people out there that appreciate y'all, man. There's people out there that love y'all for what y'all are doing. There's people out there like myself that understand what you do now, the information, the love, the energy, the support that you give your children is going to turn into amazing things later on in their lives. So what you pour into them now, you will see the result of. So love your kids, man. Love your kids. Spend time with your kids. And I think this is, in some ways, is a blessing, because to a certain extent, we have possibly been turning our backs on our children because life is so hard, man. You got to work, you got to do all of these different things, and then you got to come home and pay attention to your children, right? And a lot of the times they get lost in the sauce, and we're having other people raise our kids, from teachers and nannies and the rec center and all of these other things. And this time has really allowed us to bond with our children in a way that we haven't been, honestly, for years upon years. So, man, continue doing what y'all got to do. Stay in place for the most part. I'm not going to front every now and then. You take a trip to Publix or something like that to pick up some chocolate milk or what have you, and that's almond milk for the kids. But for the most part, I'm staying in place, man. I got my mask, I got my gloves, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to. So wash your hands like that. Wash my hands like 20 seconds, at least. But I'm doing everything that I need to do to make sure that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I can enjoy the time with my children. And I want y'all to be able to do the same, man. I love y'all dads out there. I'm a little pissed off that I don't see Rick and Mike. I'm like trying to swipe to the side, and I don't see my brothers in here. I don't see Jagged Edge in here, but I do see my family, man. Great to see y'all, the Rolling Out crew, man. One love.
One love, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, that's for
sure. Before you go, Ron, we just quickly, we have a question from Facebook. I just want you to tell where people can tune in on Thursday, as well as who will be getting the contribution from you all raising the funds on Thursday.
Yes, that's going to the Laurel Ridge Rehabilitation Center up in Boston, Massachusetts. As we all know, some of these senior citizen homes have been ravaged by COVID-19. So, after we pay the expenses, of course, then money is going up to Laurel Ridge to make sure that our seniors, we stand on the shoulders of them. If it wasn't for them, there would be no us. So we're doing that for this particular one. But this is an ongoing series. You know, we're going to bring this to you every 2 weeks. So after this Thursday, 2 more Thursdays from now, 2 more artists are coming at you, and we'll figure out what they want to do as far as their give back campaign is concerned. But there will always be a give back component attached to the Garage series moving forward. And, you know, our partners, Brooke Payne, Leo over there at the Funk Fest, we just love y'all for putting this thing in place. Jagged Edge, we thank y'all for jumping on this first episode, as my mom calls me. Hold on, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, if y'all can still hear me, it's all good. Mom Dukes is calling. I'm gonna reach out to her once I get off.
We can hear you.
Yeah, Laurel Ridge Rehabilitation Center up in Boston and Jamaica Plain. And then you said something else. There was a part B to your question.
How can people tune in on Thursday?
FunkFestTV.com. FunkFestTV.com.
FunkFestTV.com.
FunkFestTV.com. And if you're having problems with that, go to bellbivdevote.com and we'll figure out how to work you through it.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you so much.
Happy Father's Day.
Right,
Continue.
Thank
Much
you.
love from Rolling Out.
Y'all. Happy Father's Day. All right, one love.
One love.
Take care.
Oh man, that's
great. Great job. Ron is always so real and kind. We appreciate he and his family for always being a part of Rolling Out. Big ups to Funk Fest TV and the Funk Fest, which definitely will bring all of the new technology so that we can appreciate and raise money for those seniors who are in need. FunkFestTV.com.
Real funny story, Cass. So I was chilling one day and I got this text from him. He was like, "Hey man, quick question. How does this Twitter thing work?" I was like, "What?" So it was amazing. It was just amazing to me, man, to see all the industry people, you know, gravitating towards technology. You know, Munson was already up on his Instagram game. He was good.
I posted today. I need encouragement, Cass. I need to be encouraged that we've got to roll off to Rolling Out at 10:30 a.m. on IG so people can actually get what we're doing. Once again, I want to thank Funk Fest TV and everybody from Bev Did the Vote that came on. Obviously, Ron is the man. Happy Father's Day. Let us go to your report, Cass in the City.
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome. We've had some great guests today who've shared some insights. So we look forward to that. In the world of music, we were kind of talking about this a little bit. We have continually talked about this, about responsibility with rappers and, you know, what kind of responsibility they hold to our community and the messages that they put out. So I want to shout out Waka Flocka for this, because he took to Twitter and decided to pledge his, you know, time and talents to helping those in our community who are suffering from not only mental illness, but substance abuse. So this is a big thing because I think rappers have a huge platform and I think they should use it for some form of positivity. You know, so what do you guys think about this? I know we've talked about this with Future and other artists out there and kind of the responsibility they have to, you know, the young generation.
Well, I'm going to give him his props. I'm going to give him his props for donating his time and expertise to this particular situation. I have been critical of Waka Flocka in the past because he said that the COVID-19 was fake back in February on video. So while I criticize him there, I'm going to give him his props now. Thank you for contributing and trying to, because right now, the levels of anxiety have been amplified exponentially because of the coronavirus. And he is trying to curb that. And so I got to give him his props.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely respect to that. And it's interesting, like King James said, you know, people and how they, and I think we talked about this, people and how they, you know, just troll heavy. You know, a lot of people can't mentally take, you know, I think he's taking a definite good step. Definitely.
Absolutely. Up next, some lighthearted, you know, beautiful moments. Capri Bryant, the youngest of Kobe Bryant, Vanessa Bryant's daughter, daughters just took her first steps, and Vanessa Bryant shared this on Instagram. So this was just a sweet moment. We just want to keep showering her with love and her family with love. Obviously we all know that Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant unfortunately passed away in a helicopter crash, 4 months ago. So we definitely want to share them love. This was a cute moment. Just one of those moments that we all, it's that big moment for parents. When you say your first words, when you take your first step. So it's just sweet. And we just really want to, continue to shower her and her family with love. Up next, we have a big moment in history, sports history. Naomi Osaka, 22-year-old tennis player, as we all know, she has now become the highest paid female athlete in the world. She has surpassed Serena Williams. And, according to Forbes, at 22 years old, in a 12-month, 1-year period, she made $37.4 million from not only prize money, but also endorsements. And this is an all-time earning record for female athletes.
All right, great job, Carrie. Sports in the place. Get on the show,
so this is a big deal. But go ahead.
For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. We definitely got to get her on. I like her as a personality. I thought the gesture that she showed at the U.S. Open last year when she defeated the upcoming teen phenomenon, that she went over there and showed a gesture, something unprecedented, hadn't happened before. Coco Gauff and Corey Coco Gauff. And while the little girl was crying, she went over there and she basically put her arms around her, invited her to be part of the post-game interview. So she has character in addition to talent and skill. She's humble, she's shy, she's just, she's a complete package in terms of what you want in your athlete.
Romeo International powers up with that insight.
In the city. Now we finna tune in and turn up for Rolling Out AM. Hey, for all my weekend fans, Uncut Gems is now on Netflix. You can see The Weeknd, his first movie debut role, portraying one of the bad guys. All that love music, he's one of the bad guys. So, feeling bored, make sure you check out Uncut Gems on Netflix. And the Migos and NBA Youngboy have a brand new song. I want AM to take a listen to it, and here's a cut of it. The song is called, are we ready? The song is called Need It, and I want to know, do we need it? Hit it.
Black outside the street.
Ain't no mistreated. No. These stones around my Jesus, they ain't treated. They got me heated. Don't play with the game, they know that we be undefeated. I get the squeezing. When we talking beef, they say that they vegan. Tripping no reason. We kept them on ice and talking the freezer.
I said I need it. This Draco undefeated. And some black and then I'm bleeding. Go long. These bullets, he receive it. I can't see it.
What do y'all think of Need It?
Need it.
Yeah, I'm liking that groove. That's straight.
I'm trying to figure out, is this the same song I keep hearing on Instagram that they keep posting? Okay, that Offset is posting.
Yep,
okay.
This is the same.
Okay, cool. It has like that NBA Youngboy sound. So okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that later. Check that out.
Yeah.
And celebrity birthdays for today, May the 26th. We want to give a shout out to the unbelievable, the beautiful Terry. Gonna like this one. Are we ready? We good? We go. Oh,
we're ready.
Happy birthday to Pam Grier and happy birthday to Lenny Kravitz today, May 26th.
Happy birthday to everybody that has a birthday today, May 26th. We all matter here at Rolling Out, the wake-up call. Exciting time to see. Not sure about the guns and the violence, if that's needed in the video, but, everybody got what they need. Power up. Get your license if you're going to carry. Obviously, Lauryn Hill had a birthday. Octavia Spencer had a birthday today. Don't want you to think that we forgot about them either. So know that happy birthday to you. We got a happy birthday song, Terry. You ready to sing it?
Oh, not yet. I'm my couch is talking to me.
Couch is talking to you.
Hold on. What did you say? Okay. No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm ready.
My couch is talking to your couch.
Well, nothing's talking to me in here, so just me.
Is that a signal? Are you trying to tell us something, King James? Is that a signal? We got to make a call?
No, he's actually talking about me saying that you should carry your phone and walk around the room and talk to your couch and imagine people on your couch and have conversations with your couch.
Yeah, but actually that brings up a good point because of the fact that a lot of motivational, inspirational speakers say that you should give thanks to the things that you do on a regular basis that you take for granted of. You should thank your bed that it was there for you to give you good sleep. You should thank the bathroom there that gives you a shower, allows you to use the restroom. You should thank the refrigerator that keeps your food. So a lot of motivational speakers from Tony Robbins, on down, they all say that you should give thanks. Yeah, Les Brown, give thanks to inanimate objects because that they are working. Yeah, thank your car. Thank your feet for taking you on that jog, Romeo. Thank your bike that is that staying in places allows you to ride and get exercise during the COVID. So, while I was joking, it is true. That is something that a lot of motivational speakers say. Give thanks to the things that you use and need on a regular basis.
Amen.
That's a good point, Terry.
No, it's a good inspiration because we definitely want to be inspired here May 26th to understand exactly the thanks you're in place, but are you being thankful for those things that are there that you have that somebody doesn't? Thankful that you can stay in place, and others have to go face ugly people, do ugly things just to bring minimal pay back. That's probably something we should talk about. Why are individuals on the front line who are actually taking care of our parents and grandparents? I like what you're saying, Terry. That's putting it down. Picking it up where I've been putting it down.
I like the whole statement what you just said. Not just only people in the front line. I've always wondered, because every week we talk about supporting Black communities, supporting others, helping the growth, and it always boggles my mind that there's always the one comment out of all the good you see. There's the one comment, the one troll to get through out of everything that's good. So I'm definitely 100% with you, man. We need to uplift. We need to uplift.
Terry, you got a report over there, Terry, under your sleeve?
Yes. I was trying to get the video of what I'm about to talk about first. But we'll go ahead and proceed.
Oh, no, I can wait. I got plenty of time, my dear.
Oh, okay. Well, then stop the presses. Producer. Oh, she already got it.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking pictures and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me?
I'll explain when she's done.
I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, so what this is, and this has been viewed 20 million times in just 7 hours. There's a white woman in Central Park. She's in a section of the park that does not allow you to have your dogs run free. There are signs on the trees that says you must have your dogs on the leash. Now, the black man, his name is Christian Cooper. He's a bird watcher. And he simply asked her to put a leash on her dog. She refused and belligerently, as you can see in the video, went up to him to tell him to stop recording. The moment she got belligerent, he put on the video. or at least her sister did, named Melody Cooper. Now, the white woman who was belligerent, ironically, her name is Amy Cooper. They're not related, obviously. But anyway, she went ahead and acted like her life was in danger. But she got caught because it was recorded. And then she called the police and acted like her life was in danger from this black man who asked her to obey the simple rules that's already stated. So she's breaking the rules, and then she's going to call the cop on the black man who told her to obey the rules. Now, what happened is that he left before the cops got there. I don't blame him because, you know what I'm saying, he might have gotten choked out. Oh, that another story, like this just happened in Minnesota just now. TMZ just reported it, that a black man got snuffed out, suffocated with a knee on his throat for 8 minutes until he died. Then that video is horrific. But anyway, he left the scene. Amy Cooper got identified easily. So her job suspended her, put her on leave. And the police department said that, you know, they came out, they'll investigate. Of course, they're going to come out as a white woman. And the black man, basically, who put it on Facebook, his sister did, Melody Cooper. Shout out to Melody Cooper for putting it out. It is gone viral worldwide and is the clear-cut example. This is the quintessential example of white privilege and using white privilege like a firearm against black people, especially black men. So she's getting what she deserves.
She went into character. She clearly changed
immediately.
And she was under direct, her whole voice. Where did she learn that, Terry?
Well, she learned that from what was that cookout woman out there in Oakland?
Barbecue.
Barbecue Becky. Yeah, thank you there, Cassie. Barbecue. She learned it from Barbecue Becky, and it is right now. You know, if you need any proof that white people, especially white women, know that they have privilege that are not accorded to black people in terms of police protection, that video shows it right there. Because she faked the whole thing. She could have gotten that black man either shot or arrested or snuffed out or choked to death just because he asked her to obey the rules that she didn't want to follow. What? Yeah, that white people set the rules. White people set the rules, and this white woman didn't want to obey the laws that the white people set. So she called the police on the black man. So that is what happened. She's been suspended.
You got to get Cooper on the rolling out wake up call. I mean, we've got to figure out, he and his sister, what it was that made them understand that they needed to push play on record.
Hey, Munson, what was the voice again? Just one more time.
Exactly. So yeah, that was just ridiculous.
But seriously, Terry, I mean,
it just was amazing to go, then she went into a whole fearful voice, the whole, I'm here.
And in the whole process, she almost choked her dog to death. You know, I mean, that dog was struggling. That dog was like, hey, let go.
On a leash.
Right. So, Cassidy, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I just remember like when Barbecue Becky was a thing, there was this string of incidents where white people were like enforcing their rules on black people and all these different things, just like black people living. And now it's come back, and now it's like the Karen scenario. And I keep seeing it, like this white woman sitting on a car, like blocking somebody, a black person, from going into a parking spot, like this scenario, like the trucking incident, like the delivery guy. It's just crazy. Like, and her just going to that character was absolutely insane. It's just like you said, it's like ultimate white privilege, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it is not something that is ever going away. I want to make that clear. It's never gone away. It's
further, Terry, because it's not just, it's white supremacy. It's very different than privilege, because the supremacy is come eliminate this problem. Come take this problem out. It's supremacy. It's not just privilege. She's executing a warrant on the life of the person who is there, because she said she is actually being harmed.
Threatened.
The difference is now the police could come guns blazing and literally obliviate that individual because the call suggested there was a murder or an attack on her life taking place. So it went beyond privilege. This is actually supremacy. I'm going to lie, and you're going to eliminate a life that doesn't matter to this system.
Right.
Basically. Wow. Romeo, what are your thoughts on that, the video?
Hey man, I have no thoughts. My hands in there. I told y'all earlier this week. I don't know what else you can do. You can't be in the park. You can't be in the parking lot. You can't be on the basketball court. You can't walk. You can't talk. You just can't do nothing. I don't know.
You definitely have to do something, Romeo. You can't put your hands up. You need to do it. That young man who was intelligent, who was articulate, who was detailed, and actually captured the lie. We have to continue to tell the truth. I think the young lady who was the epidemiologist today suggested, hey, Romeo, carry the message, bridge the message. So you've got to continue you. Our social can't be a social fantasy. We've turned reality, social media into reality TV. It has lost the good for our community. It's not teaching our children. It clearly is not motivating people to do anything but take off their clothes, Terry Shropshire says. So at the end of the day, it has become a reality TV set.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, the situation. But at least she has been suspended from her job. She was quickly identified. She's being humiliated. Millions of people have seen this video, 20 million in 7 hours. So it struck a chord. Something about this video struck a chord, and everybody is responding. And now the woman is in hiding. And it's all her fault. It's her. I don't feel nothing for this.
Oh, no, but Terry, it's her fault. Stop it, Terry. People have been lynched. People have gone to prison on the voice that she used.
Absolutely.
And being a white woman. People have died historically because people have lied. The interrogations that have taken place for hours that have sent brothers to prison. From that example.
Yep.
Yeah, the white woman that she worked, the white woman in distress worked at Franklin Templeton, and they had to issue a statement to her, a statement about her position at the company, saying that they don't tolerate racism and that they put her on leave. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're going to do like a police investigation where the men are later exonerated or let go. We'll have to see about that. But
what industry is that, Terry?
It didn't identify it in the report that I saw from NBC News. It just said Franklin Templeton in New York. So it sounds like, like a financial firm, but I can't guess.
Who's the CEO of that company?
Well, they didn't identify it. It was just a statement.
Quick Google, team. Quick Google. At any rate, to give Terry help. But what else you got there, Terry? In your report?
Yeah. In the next report I have, we have heard about and have read about and have discussed at length about the parties that have been going on in Chicago, about the people at the beaches in both Los Angeles and as well as in Florida. Well, we have another situation that is developing in that these upscale kids at a mixed, or I should say, at a school in Atlanta now, many of them have contracted the coronavirus after attending a recent graduation party this past weekend, and now they've come down with the coronavirus. I can't remember the name of the school, but it's right here in the city of Atlanta. I'm sorry?
I believe it's Love It.
Yes, you are right. It is
Love It.
Thank you for that assist, Magic Johnson Cassidy. And I appreciate that. But yeah, it is Love It. School in.
I think she's Swin Cash.
Swin Cash. I'll go with that one. Swin Cash. But right there in Love It. So it also is, this is another example of young people not adhering to what the experts are saying, not adhering to what's on the news in terms of staying away from each other. And now several people have contracted it, but it took them several days to find out that they contracted it. So now they've already probably infected several people in their family, among their friends. So in just less than a week, they could have infected several dozen or maybe even hundreds of people. Remember, yesterday I said in my report about the people in Springfield, Missouri, 2 people infected 140 people. 2 hairdressers infected 140 people. So this is getting very dangerous. So even though, according to CNN, the numbers have, I'm sorry, not CNN, according to the CDC, the numbers are trending down in the state of Georgia, but it may not last for long with the behavior being exemplified right here. It says so far that Georgia has 42,000 cases, 1,800 deaths. America overall has 1.6 million cases and 98,000 deaths. So probably before the end of the month, it's the 26th, we will cross the 100,000 threshold because people are behaving like that man and like that presidency and like that administration along, I don't know, what is it, Pennsylvania Avenue? Somewhere near there. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, so I feel for the young people, but at 18, you are an adult. You can read, you can hear, and you went to an upscale school, a prestigious school. So you are educated. You chose to do this. So it's hard to then fathom that you get this virus. So that if something's wrong with me or you, Romeo, and say, for example, you have some serious, no, not you, but somebody else has a serious injury. The hospital's going to be clogged up. You can't get yourself fixed up because all the beds are taken because of the people who are out there congregating amongst one another, not practicing social distancing. That is the problem right there. So that is my report.
Yeah, that's so real because emergencies are still happening. You know, like people unfortunately are still getting in car accidents. Like, you know, things happen, like accidents happen. So those people still need medical attention. Yes. So you're right about that.
Yeah, so it's not just the people who are going to the hospital, clogging the hospital. It's also the other people who may get injured or sick from some other, and they may need immediate medical attention. There's no room. The doctors are not at their best because they're overworked. Yeah. We talk to epidemiologists. We talk to emergency room doctors. They are on edge, a lot of them. So you're not going to go there and get the best care to begin with. Yeah. And now the bed's going to be clogged up because you idiots don't want to stay at home? Miss me on that. Miss me.
King James, I have a question though.
No, that's right, Jerry.
About your last report, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is it for you and Musson? Is it not a crime to report false calls? Is not a crime?
Good point. Now I wanted to bring that up, and I forgot to bring that up. Thank you for reminding me, Romeo. It is against the law to file a false police report. So therefore, we should, and those in the audience and those out there among the 20 million people that viewed the video, you should be asking and demanding of the New York Police Department to find this woman and investigate for possible prosecution for filing a false police report because you were seen lying. You were seen thinking that you were under duress and you were breaking the rules to begin with. So you're the start of this whole thing. You should be prosecuted. So yes, good point, Romeo.
Okay. All right, so we should bring attorney on tomorrow to discuss those points so that we can make sure. I want you to find that young man, Cooper. It is there. I think they're sending some information to you, TJ, in terms of who the CEO is.
Okay, and we also want to add that that the place where Amy Cooper worked at, that's a Central Park woman who lied and called the police in Central Park without having a leash on the dog. She worked at a financial institution, Franklin Templeton, and they just named Jennifer Johnson as a new chief executive in a move that sees her brother and existing CEO, Gregory Johnson, become executive chairman. So we just wanted to keep up on that so that maybe you can apply pressure to a place of employment as well, because they've already placed her on leave and they said they don't tolerate racism. Well, demonstrate that you don't. Don't just say it. I don't want to hear you just say. The police just say they're doing an investigation. You know, what's going on? There's no noise down there in Brunswick, Georgia anymore. What's going on down there? So yeah, don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you're going to do. So that, yes, but it is relevant.
Leadership has to lead at this point.
Yes, exactly.
Leadership at Franklin Templeton to lead for certain. What's happening in MSP, Terry?
MSP?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't watch this. I'm closing my eyes while I'm looking at it because I don't want to.
I'm not going to watch. You just a grown. You're a tough guy. You're a tough guy, huh? You're a tough guy. He's not even resisting arrest, bro.
His whole nose is
fight with him. Bro, but why you just sitting there? He ain't doing nothing now. Put him in the car.
How long y'all gotta hold him down?
This is why you don't do drugs, kids. It ain't about drugs, bro. Y'all understand?
Y'all don't gotta put y'all in right.
He is human, bro.
His nose is
what I'm saying, you can put him in the car. That's a
we tried that for 10 minutes.
That's a bum ass shit, bro. That's some bum ass shit, bro. Y'all know what that is. You don't gotta sit there with your knee on his neck, bro. Bro, he ain't climbing. Bro, you just got back out here, bro. Bro, he doesn't have it, bro. He's not fucking moving.
No, did they fucking kill him, bro?
Bro,
They
bro,
just killed him
what is you, 1087, bro? You're a bum, bro, or 987, bro? You're a bum. First thing you want to grab is your mace because you scared, bro. Scared of fucking minorities, you fucking bum, bro. Like, bro, 3 minutes, bro. He's not fucking moving. Bro, he's not even fucking moving. Get off of his fucking neck, bro. Get off of his neck.
Still on him, bro.
Yes, look at that, bro.
on the street.
Are you serious? Bro, are you serious? And you gonna keep your thing on your neck? Yeah, I bet you. Bro, bro, I barely touch me like that, dude. I swear I'll slap the fuck out of both of y'all.
I didn't want to call the ambulance.
Can we stop the video? Yeah, that's enough. There's nothing else that needs to be said. This just got reported. This is in Minneapolis, and I can't watch it. I don't want to watch it. I'm going to report on it because that's my job, but I don't want to see the video. I closed my eyes while it was going on because it's too much. That's too much. That's too much. I mean, that's just too much. So, yeah, the guy died on the scene. He didn't die later. He died on the scene. He was announced that he died in the hospital. But you can see, according to the video, he was lifeless under that man's knee there. He died under the man's knee, just like Eric Garner died on camera, and the man got off with just being terminated. Terminated. So that is what's going on. Yeah. So I'm kind of speechless right now. You know, that's disturbing. That's disturbing. So that just happened, and we need to get that story up. I will do that as soon as we close out the show. But that is what's going on. We have to remain vigilant, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of that we need our people to not only just vote, but also to aspire to positions where we can prevent this kind of stuff. You notice that in Atlanta, because the power structure is mostly overwhelmingly Black, that these things seem to not happen in the same way that it happens in so many other cities that have predominantly white, because that thing is not tolerated. That's what I'm talking about, aspiring to positions of power, because it's not just the police, it's who's over the police, who controls the police, who informs the police behind closed doors during what they call guard mount. I know about guard mount because I was a cop in the military. And that's where you tell everybody, all the cops, what you want them to do during their shift and what mentality or philosophy by which you will execute your duties. So I know about what's said about behind closed doors. I know what cops do behind closed doors about their friends, because I watched it, their friends being caught for drunk driving, but somehow the paperwork is lost and that white soldier is let off. I've watched that in my own eyes. So I know about what goes on behind closed doors. So it's not the police, it's up here. That's where we got to aspire to. Up and around.
From Facebook there, Romeo, before we close it out.
Catherine Rice says, wow, tender, sweet, whole bunch of emojis and sad face. Janice Simmons says, oh my God, this is too much.
Hey, Janice.
It's a lot of
that was.
Hey, well, obviously we need a couple of positive thoughts of the day so everybody get their minds right in what we see. Our community is up under siege, Romeo. That's why I said we gotta stop posting poison and post positive, moving comments for social media. We really got to lift ourselves up because it is what they want us to do, to turn up, to go out, to not be safe during this moment. So for the whole community, please, please, please be vigilant in making sure that you're taking care of yourself as you move through this day. Cass in the city's got a positive thought today. She's gonna share it, it's coming your way. It's Cass in the city's got a positive thought coming your way today. What's up, Cass?
Positive thought song. Yes. Definitely. I mean, I was gonna say goal setting because I was definitely inspired by Jessica and her travels, around the world and accomplishing her goals early. But I think, something that's really important is to give people credit. The people who are speaking out and doing what's right and using their platform for good. I think, we need to, all of us who don't have that level of platform need to make sure we support those people doing. People don't have to do the right thing, as we've seen, like Waka Flocka. I definitely want to make sure he's supporting our community. Like, mental illness is real, substance abuse is real, and we want to make sure like he has support and he knows that we support what he's doing. So definitely letting people get credit for the good that they're doing.
Romeo, positive thought. It's the way to go.
My positive thoughts comes from the great wisdom of Chris Brown himself. And he said, and I quote, "I don't see how you hating from outside of the club. You can't even get in." And in retrospect, for everybody that's making a comment about what the other people are doing, if you're not in the fight, don't tell people how to fight.
There you go. That's a good one. And this is the first King James, who took his talents to Atlanta, from Akron to Atlanta. Yes. My motivational speech comes from Russell Simmons.
How come I didn't get to sing before you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you closed out there. I thought you closed things out. My bad.
No, I know. I'm saying I didn't get to sing you a good, like a positive thought song.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Please.
Trop is the day, Terry today. Terry will give us the positive thought, positive way. It's coming from Terry today.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, and I am buoyed by that. And so I wanted to come from something that I heard from Russell Simmons once, a long time ago when I first started at Rolling Out. He said that more than a decade ago. He said, and I didn't understand it at the time intellectually or spiritually, but I understand it now. He said, "You cannot receive until you first learn to give." And so my positive thought of the day: you cannot get fruit or vegetables from the ground until you first lay some seeds. So what you have to do in life is that whatever you want in life, you must first give it. You want love, give love. You want to be like someone else. You want compliments, compliment somebody else first. You want somebody to help you out, help them out first. You want somebody to loan somebody else money first. Pay forward. Go ahead and do for someone else that you want them to do to you first, and then it shall be given, and the universe will reward you. So that is my motivational speech of the day.
Love it. Sending prayers to everybody who's out there. Definitely, we want you to stay focused and positive this Tuesday. Our prayers are with the families who have received or had losses. Big ups to Cooper for standing up and videotaping the double standards that exist in the society. But more than anything, I want to thank my morning crew, Romeo and the National, Cass in the City, the first King James. Positive note of the day is be strong and understand that strength comes from within, not outside yourself. So grow more strength, grow more tolerance, grow more patience, grow more love inside of you. You've got the strength to do it. I am Munson Steve. That's his Cass in the City. It is Romeo International and the first King James, and we are out. Peace.
Yes. Tune in tonight to Health IQ, 6 p.m. on Facebook for more insight from our epidemiologists and other guests who are going to give insight into what's going on in our community.
Health IQ. Hey, you got the Howard president coming too today, Cass. So no, it is the Howard president, Stillman president, Kenyatta Stevens. You've got it. Deborah's coming back. You're gonna love it. Yes. So Health IQ right here on Rolling Out, and we're gonna be out again. So tune in to Health IQ.
Man, y'all have a great Tuesday.